Come on. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to it. It is Sunday night. You know what that means? Time for Yakin with Yukon once again. How you guys doing? Great to see you. Hopefully, you had a good weekend. It's already done. Tomorrow's Monday. It's depressing, sad, but hopefully the next hour will lift your spirits a little bit because we have a great guest, a guest who was on about a year ago. I think it was last November. That is JBs Toy Trunk. Great guy, awesome YouTuber, killing it, doing his thing. And man, if you haven't checked out his content, for one thing, what the hell are you waiting for? For another thing, go do it because he does great, great stuff. And he's just a hell of a guy, too. So we love that. So let's welcome in a couple of people that have showed up already. We got Ultra Cardozola. 5 days ago was my 20th birthday, and I'm 20 years old already. Happy birthday, man. Good to have you. We got Colin. What's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. We got the YouTube MVP, Rolando. Good to have you, man. Marcia, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you being here. And that's all the people rolling in so far. All right, couple quick things before we bring in JB. If you guys didn't get a get a chance to check out our Undisputed live last night over on T3's channel, go check that out. That was really a lot of fun. It was basically 2 hours of us bashing Hasbro. So, I mean, it's right up my alley. So that was on my channel. It's on Kenobi's channel. And it's also on T3's channel. So go check that out if you haven't done that so far. Let's bring a couple more people real quick. Collecting Havoc, what's up, man? Talk about a guy who's killing it, just destroying YouTube. Unbelievable. All right, well, that's enough chit chat. Let's bring in the guest of honor, JB's Toy Trunk.
Oh, wow. That was pretty awesome.
Thanks, man. Well, things have changed a little since the last time you've been here. We're a little more not high tech, but at least it's not, hey, there's JB and you're just there. We actually have an intro and all that stuff. So
that I like that. It's like the whole walk-in, the entrance, the flames and everything. Let's do it.
Yeah. Maybe next time you'll have flames. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. So how's it going, man? How you been? It's been a while.
It's been a while, and yeah, I think it's a little bit over a year when we were on last, and I appreciate you inviting me on the first time and this time. It's been I'm busy. I think everybody in the chat knows how busy we all are. So life's been good, can't complain. And this is the busy time of the year for me at work. So just trying to get out there and still hunt, still put out a little bit of content, and of course, support you guys and support everybody else out there because ultimately I think a lot of us got into this for the community. I'm fine watching TV and hanging out with my plastic, but it's fun to share it with other grown, big kids like us.
Right.
So
Right.
it's fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really appreciate you being on. I messaged him on Wednesday because we had a little bit of a cancellation problem with the original guest. So I messaged him. I was like, man, I'm giving you short notice, but can you do it? And he messaged me like 5 minutes later. He's like, yeah, I'm in. So
Yeah.
that is a testament to you, my friend. I really
Well,
appreciate
thank you.
it. Really
I had to get with a house commander first.
Oh, of course. You got to do that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You got to do that.
We don't get it
just
twisted.
make those decisions. Right.
Yeah, we don't get it twisted.
So what's new? What's going on with you, man? How have things been in the last year as far as YouTube goes? Well, has there been anything that's been really positive, and you can even tell us some negative stuff?
I think the positive is continuing to grow like all of our channels, learning how to do the YouTube, like that, the intro that you had me come on. That's great. It's not, there's a transition into it. And I think over the past year, I know for me personally, learning of how to make things as smooth as possible, trim the fat, put stuff exciting in there, and not just do 2 hour long or 3 hour long toy hunts and expect everybody to watch all 3 hours of it and say, all right, he's looking at the Super Mario Brothers that are still on sale.
Right.
They're still, so, learning a little bit of the tricks in the trade, learning what my audience wants. And, we all have our different audiences, and then, connecting with you guys, every other, YouTuber and toy tuber out there, and we kind of just pick each other's brains. So it's a maturity process, it's a learning process, and I like it that the learning never ends. You know, whether it's in life or in YouTube. So and I think it's been pretty positive. You know, getting out to a couple cons, some bigger comic stores, not just Target and Walmart, and like Disavowed Action Figure says, you know, the summer of Ollies, we're getting to our
Oh,
Ollies or our Rosses and
yes,
4.99 figures. So
yes.
we all could have those opinions and, oh, that's, you know, that stinks, man. It's the value of the figure. Hey, look, whether we're looking for at the value of the figure or just looking to get the figure at $5, you know, it's all debatable.
Right, right.
And I think the state of collecting, I'm not saying it's, for me, it's not plateauing, it's still going up. And I know there's been a little bit of an up and down just because waiting on the stuff to hit, and
Yeah.
the end of last quarter going into this quarter, there's nothing but, for me, GI Joe is just pounding my doorstep. And then today it just shows up. I'm like, hey, there's something from BBTS, and the wife's like, what's that? I'm like, I don't know. You know,
Soldier's
I only
crack. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I only pre-order the exclusives, and the other stuff, you know, I try to find, you know, in store. So it's been fun. How about you, man?
It's like you said, it's been a ride, man. There's days where you're geared up and you're like, let's do this, and there's other days like I would rather watch paint dry than do YouTube because it's just I don't know if you do this, and try really hard not to, but I'm a very comparative person where I compare myself to others a lot, which is not a good trait. But some days you see your friends doing really well, and you see your video doing like 20 views, you're like, what's missing here? And I no disrespect to anybody. I'm super happy for everybody, but I think all of us getting those little lulls where like, is this worth it? I'm putting a lot of time into this. Is it worth it? What is my goal into this? And sometimes I think I have a hard time finding out what my goal is. My ultimate goal is to get to 1,000 subs. Well, we're past that. So it's like, as a goal-oriented person, sometimes it's hard to find your goals. Do you have trouble with that? Do you have a hard time finding the goals in YouTube?
Um, I did at first, and then just again going through the process, understanding why, going back to the root cause of why I started this, and we're all different, and I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it out to guys like Seth and Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Both of those guys, you know, I was watching first before I came on, looking at the different styles and seeing the fan base that they get. And with, there he is, there's my
Speak
buddy
of the
right
devil.
there.
There he
Speak
is.
of the devil, you know, and then when we finally meet up in person and communicate more off, you know, off air, we start to really understand why we got into this. If for me, it's not about so much. It is about the subs because, you know, we want to grow our channel,
Right.
but at the same time, that's not the main goal. My main goal of starting the channel was just documenting my journey.
Sure.
And what other better place than YouTube? If everybody's out there on YouTube, you know what? I'm going to do it, and I'm going to see what kind of traction I could get with it. Um, some other guys hit me up. They're like, "Hey, what about the money? This, that, the other." If getting into YouTube for the money is the thing, then you're going to have to work really, really hard at it. It's not impossible. We've seen guys that you and I both know that started, you know, really recently with us, and they're just shooting up, and that's great. You
That
know,
is
good
great.
for them, and we support them, we applaud them. But I personally don't say, "Oh, I need," you know, I wish I was like that. Just I I'm more of that optimistic role. I'm going to eventually get there, and I just want to keep applauding and pushing them forward. Even the guys that, you know, I have a couple of friends that are thinking about starting it, and I tell them straight up, like, look, don't look to get into this immediately and try to make money off of it.
Right. It's a
Just
bad idea. Mhm.
it's a bad idea.
Mhm.
Get into it because you love communicating and meeting people, documenting your journey. And if you think you have a creative bone in your body and you want to create content, go for it.
Right.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
um, you know,
Well, I think it's a learning lesson too.
yeah.
So, even when we do watch each other, it's like, I've taken stuff from you. I've taken stuff
Oh,
from
yeah.
Collecting Havoc, from Dave. Welcome, Dave. What's up, man? Good to have you here.
Right.
From a lot of people, from Ed from Rebels Reptiles and Games. And it's like I think it's good where there's just maybe just a tiny bit of healthy competition there.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
it makes us all better.
Yeah.
You don't want to absolutely mirror everything somebody does. I mean, I'll be honest with you. My way of thinking when I started my channel was to kind of mirror Cincy Nerd. He's the guy I always
Yeah.
watched, the guy I always kind of went to. And then it's like, well, you start to find your own thing a little bit and that sort of stuff. Do you find yourself ever seeing something be like, hey, that's kind of a good idea. Maybe I can kind of spin that to where it's mine and make it my own?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because and even if I see somebody that's doing something that I like, I might not even necessarily try to attempt it. But man, and we got a guy right there, Nolan.
Yes,
Um,
Nolan.
Nolan
What's
puts
up,
out
Nolan?
fantastic videos.
He does.
His editing, his style, his the lighting, and they're quick and concise videos. And I love his editing styles. He has the great 50% of videos audio. So
Mhm.
if we're talking and or seeing something, he's going to lace it with a good track. So Nolan, when I'm watching him, I was like, man, that's a good idea. I might think about incorporating that style or almost that inspiration, to add to my videos and to my channel. So yeah, I definitely, since he's definitely one of them. He's enthusiastic. He's always, I mean, I see a lot of that in me. It's like, boom, this is me.
Absolutely.
Bam, I'm
Absolutely.
out there, and I like his channel, and yeah, guys like Greg Cook. Let's
Yeah.
Greg Cook. He's our legend. You know what I'm saying? We all
Yeah.
love how he's
Yeah.
always
Yes.
going out there.
Yes.
But what Greg and the wife and I always talk about, it's like, man, he's just a good dude.
Hmm.
you know,
Yep.
I've never met him in person, and I know people who haven't said he truly is, but man, it comes across on the airwaves. I want to watch that. I
Yeah.
watch because of him,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's hard to tell how genuine people really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they're just trying to, stay face or whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
that can be an issue too. But, I think learning it comes with it. It comes with it. I know that, in a year and a half, I've learned a ton. I'm sure you've learned a ton too. What do you think the number one thing that you have learned is so far as to when you first started the channel to now?
Um, that's a great question, and I don't even know if I have a solid or even a good answer, man, because I kind of really did my research going into it, and ultimately, like how Nolan says right there, just do you.
Yeah,
I've always been a believer of just being yourself. So, trying to stay focused and maintaining of who I am, who Jason is, and not changing it up for anyone, not changing it up for a sub, not changing it up for more likes or anything like that. Just if I could continue to just be myself on the channel, and like how Nolan again says, just do you. That's what I've been learning from the beginning, and it's been working, I guess you could say. So that's
absolutely.
that's what I've learned, is just continue to do what I'm doing and just be myself.
Nice, nice, awesome. Let me
Yeah.
welcome in a couple more people as we were talking. We
Oh
got
yeah.
Duff Man. What's up, Duff Man? Good to have you here. Nolan, I'm sorry I missed your comment up earlier, but welcome, Nolan. Good to have you. And we also said hi to Dave. What's up?
Hit
And
that
we got
like.
Derek Magnus as well. So good to have
Derek.
all you
Yeah.
guys here. All right, so let's talk a little bit of toys here. You and I were talking in the back, and we're like, oh, let's not get too into this. We got to save this for the show. We were talking about, okay, I want to give you one question. I thought of this right before we started. If you were in charge of a toy company, what would you do differently that all these toy companies are doing right now? What would be your course of action that would be different, that would be a positive on the toy industry that you would do that nobody's either really trying to do or putting any effort in?
Oh man, that's such a
It's a
great
loaded question.
question. It's a loaded and great question. Um, because I'm not business savvy at all. I'm more of I'm not even artistic, but I look at the attitude and emotions of things a lot. I'm a very emotional guy. I would like to just say to whoever's putting the toys out there, remember where you came from, and
Absolutely.
remember your target of
Right.
why you're trying to put out these toys. And I think when it comes to, let's say, bashing Hasbro, that's what I'll say to my videos every now and then. I'm like, let me dial it back.
Right.
It's it's
Right.
it's just plastic.
Yep.
It's just toys. But if you're gonna market this plastic out there, market it the right way and give us stuff that we want. So remember where you come from, and just
Mhm.
push out the stuff that people want. Don't try to put out, hologram Black Series for like $800
Right.
and say, here's
Exactly.
another here's another Mando, except he's clear.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so
Well, we talked about this on the live stream yesterday. I really actually think it's a
yeah,
pretty
okay.
simple solution. Do what you did in the 80s.
Yeah.
When we in the 80s, okay, so you remember
Yeah,
when Transformers came out, it was all the rage. They couldn't keep them in stock.
yeah,
They marketed it. We talked about this too. They put commercials. Oh, okay, so if you turned into GI Joe, you were seeing GI Joe commercials for the toys. If you turned into Transformers, same deal.
yeah.
I actually don't think it's that hard. I'm just kind of curious why these tactics no longer work. Because, I was watching Nickelodeon with my kids
Mhm.
earlier, and they're marketing Monster High, they're marketing My Little Pony. Why do you think it is we're not getting the same love with action figures as they are with, these other brands?
I'm pretty sure someone with analytics, someone playing Moneyball with
Yeah,
someone playing Moneyball with plastic and toys. They're like, well, the demographics and boys this age, girls that age, and the cartoon. You're right, because look at Motu, look at Masters of the Universe. The figure was made. Oh crap, we need to make a cartoon
right,
to continue to market
right,
these awesome
right,
action figures.
exactly.
That's a good idea. Advertising action figures. I don't ever remember seeing that anymore on TV or anything. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think now when I'm watching cartoons with my granddaughter.
Yeah,
There's real no commercials pushing, whatever out there. It's non-existent.
right,
They just there's someone playing Moneyball with the toy industry, and it's obviously working, but at the same time, it's to us, it's failing. We're in the stores every day, and
hmm,
we see everything just like peg warming, like you said. You would Star Wars in, sell out. Star Wars in, sell GI Joe in, sell out.
yep,
Nowadays, the only thing that sells out is the action figure, and then of course, the hot item's going to go to a flipper, and then
exactly.
everything else goes to clearance. Yeah, I
Right.
don't
You'll
know.
find it at Ollie's and Ross in like 6 to 8 months, right?
Sar-
There you go.
Sergeant Slaughter, 12.99 at
That
at,
was
at
insane. I
Ollie's.
saw that. I saw that on Ed's channel, and I couldn't believe it because I paid $35 for Sergeant Slaughter. I'm sure
Yeah,
you did too.
I
That was
I have as
heartbreaking to
well.
me. I was like, because that's a great figure. I think it
Yeah,
deserves more than $12, honestly.
yeah,
So, leading into that, you and I were talking about GI Joe a little bit.
yeah.
How do you feel? Would you say that's your number one line right now, or if not, what do you think your number one line to collect is right
I'm gonna say GI Joe.
now? Okay,
With that, hands down, it's taken the year. I mean, I know Archer commented on one of my videos about NECA taking the year. So outside of NECA taking 2023, it's GI Joe for me. Um, the variety, the figures that I've always wanted, like quick kick in the route. I got Buzzer. I opened up Buzzer and I
I
just
saw
posted it.
that. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah,
so those are the Joes that I wanted, and that's why I stayed with the line, because I had a feeling that GI Joe Classified was going to start getting into these classic figures, which they go right. That's me. That's early '80s. That's all me. So um, it was Star Wars, and it'll always be Star Wars. But at the same time, when they keep on repainting Ahsoka and Mando, it gets old.
yeah.
So when you add a variety like GI Joe Classifieds has been, even though they'll repaint stuff, we get it. But man, there's just keep flooding it. I mean, you look at all the old pictures when I grew up as a kid with all the toys. I just had it all. That's my room. I
Yep.
just
There was
I
so
just
much. It was
just a
insane
little
how
bit,
much things. Yeah,
just a little bit of everything, and I'm
yeah.
cool with that because I'm playing my Star Wars, my GI Joes, my Marvel, my this, my that, my Motu. So yeah, GI Joe definitely though.
Do you think that it's going to continue that way? Do you think that we're going to continue to see high quality
Mhm.
products come from Hasbro for GI Joe? Because, we talked in the back a little bit. I've had
Mhm.
some not so nice cases lately with a couple figures. It kind of seems like it's going down in quality a little bit. I won't say a lot, but
Yeah.
you said that you haven't had any issues. So do you think that we can expect the same stuff, or are you afraid that they're going to go down the Star Wars rabbit hole and we're going to be in some trouble?
Well, just the chances are always going to be there that you're going to get a lemon,
Yeah,
and whether it's a specific lot or a specific figure, there's going to be lemons out there. I don't think I really don't know what's going on with, because like, you did mention the loose figures. I do have my low light. You mentioned low light. My low light, his leg is actually kind of loose in my tunnel
Oh, okay.
rat.
Hmm.
But then with my steel core troopers that I just opened up, they're fine. Um, Hopefully it's just hit and miss. And I think who's the other guy? Man, Kyle Peterson. I think he had issues with Power Rangers, a couple Power
Yeah.
Rangers and
Well,
stuff.
he opened the Red Ranger and the leg was off. It was
Right.
broke off. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's that percent that's acceptable. It just so happens that he's on YouTube and everybody sees, hey, look, a Red Ranger is broken. Um,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
I hopefully the quality continues to, at least it doesn't go down. I don't want it to go down anymore, obviously, but I
Right.
guess we'll see.
You just always worry about that. I mean, I'm having a hard time paying retail for anything anymore, especially when you
Yeah.
see these deals. Um, do you have kind of the same feeling on some stuff where it's like, I'm gonna roll the dice, I'm gonna play a long game. I might find this on Amazon cheaper, or I might find it in Ross or Ollie's next year and get it for $6.
Um, yeah, she's gonna hate me for saying it. I do want to play a long game on a lot of it, but
Yeah.
my wife has no patience. Um, it's like, well, we can save some money, and she's like, no, get it. So
Yeah.
that's a good problem to have, but a bad problem.
Right.
I would like to play the game on more things. I have been on Black Series, not the exclusives, not the Jesse or the fives, just because Flipper Frank is going to go get the Jesse
Right.
and the fives. So I'll
That's
grab
not
that.
something you're gonna find in Ollie's or Ross later on. That's gonna be,
Right.
gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
But the Andor Black Series figures, I like them, but I haven't bought one of them because I'm playing long game on those. Really long
Absolutely.
game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are definitely that's kind of like Lando. I think we'll see those in time, and there you go. Let me get to a couple more people who joined in. JMC Collects, what's up, Joe? Guys, go check out.
Joe.
Oh, geez, what at Rogue 5 Cantina? Go check
Yeah.
that out right after Yakin with Yukon,
Yep.
9 p.m. I think Brett's also on it from Clicks with Cool. So go check out that new show. That'll be awesome. I would get rid of Walmart and Target exclusives, dude. I'm totally with you. I would get rid of those two, especially Walmart. Target handles them a little better, but Walmart's terrible about it. I mean, range. Did you get a range Viper?
I did. And that's,
Nice, nice.
man, that Viper, that's nice. Now, here's the thing is I was able to get them online, and a local buddy of mine, I give him a shout out all the time, Ryan. He did the same thing, and his went to zero. He zeroed out,
Hmm.
the Walmart employee that zeroed out everybody's tab for the
Right.
Vipers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then he got fired.
Right.
So my buddy Ryan's was zeroed out, and then it went back in, and they actually completely canceled that order. And luckily they, pushed that back out. So he was able to get them on the restock, I guess you could say, online. But to play that game with exclusives, Oleg's right. Get
Yeah.
rid of the exclusives.
I mean, it's the same thing every time. Excuse me, with Walmart.
Yeah,
Same thing happens every time where there's
every
issues,
time.
and it's
And,
like it never gets any better.
and, and then if you actually get it, then you have to play roll the dice with how you're going to get it. Are you going to get it in two? Are you going to get one action figure in two separate boxes because they just broke it and just sent it that way?
Right. Or one of those bubble mailers and the box is all smashed. And yeah, it's
It-
well, and you kind of have to roll the dice because finding the store is very. I have not seen a range viper in the store. I don't think I know of anybody who's seen one in the store. So it's like
Um, no.
maybe one or two people, but it's like there's not
Yeah,
many.
yeah,
You
it's
know.
not many.
Marcia says no one watches live TV anymore with all the streaming services. That
That's
is
true.
true. That is
That's
very
true.
true. And I bet you've heard of it too. Best Buy's getting rid of all physical media,
Yeah,
which is insane.
the the day has come, and I know guys like Mr. Fantastic who still collects physical media. And I'm pretty sure on his hunt videos that he did
Yep.
talk about that,
Yep.
and it's unfortunate. I have a whole closet. Me and the wife have a whole closet full of DVDs. We haven't bought DVDs in a while, but we do still have them, and
Mhm.
it's nice to remember the days when we would go and you know get a nice DVD or Blu-ray, things like that. It's
Well, it came up
and
really fast. It's like
yeah.
just a few years ago, everybody was still buying DVDs and Blu-rays
Oh,
and everything else, and now it's like it's just done. just like
Yeah,
that, and it's
yeah.
crazy, man. It's crazy.
I think going to what my wife said about no one watching live TV.
Mhm.
If our again, the bigger we get, the one days when Hasbro and all these guys are like, you know what, let's go ahead and do some ads on these toy tuber channels,
Oh
things
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
because that's where they could actually hit that mark as far as advertising. But they won't do it. They'll advertise on Instagram, Twitter, and all the other social media platforms. So
That's a good comment because we talked about that yesterday as well. I mean, we inadvertently are kind of Hasbro reps,
you're
you
a
know,
shill, you
you're
shill.
right. Well, you are too. So,
you sh- Welcome to the
so
land of shills.
right. So it's like all of us that talk about it, we're giving them publicity. I mean, you and I both have a ton of figures behind us right now.
Oh my
Free
gosh.
publicity. And it's like they don't even really need to advertise a lot because they've got so many YouTubers and so many toy hunters doing this for them. I mean, we're even showing what's in the store, and it's like their effort needs to be very minimal.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
They today the wife and I were in a Target today, and we were in the next aisle, and you hear this little kid, must have been 4 or 5. Dad, I was on YouTube and there was a guy in the aisle just like this, and he was filming on YouTube. And the
Nice.
dad's like, "Oh yeah, whatever," But the
Right.
kid was like, "It was really cool," and he saw all the toys, and my wife's looking at me, and we're just laughing because I don't know, could have been my video, could have been yours,
Could
could
have
have
been
been.
anybody's. Right. Right.
So,
Well,
we got
that-
we got to one kid, the
there you go.
toy tubers unite. We got to one kid today.
Right. Right. Have you? Before I get to these comments, have you ever been recognized in the store? Has anybody
Oh
said,
yeah,
"Oh my God, it's JB"? You
yeah.
know.
I've been pretty fortunate. Yeah, and then the wife kind of just looks at me. She knows I'm a talker, so she goes, "Crap, man, this guy's gonna talk forever now."
We're gonna be
So
here a while.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It's like
Absolutely.
you know,
I mean, you get a little starstruck when that happens. I had that happen one time with a local guy in Walmart, and I was like, "Oh," my wife's like, "Oh, you're a big celebrity." I'm like, "No, no, not at all, not at all. No, never." Collecting Havoc says, "I saw Slaughter in store once, and only two of them. Some of the ollies in the distribution is still jacked." Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, man. You're
yeah,
absolutely right. And Colin says he never even seen Slaughter in the store. So that's crazy, man. I mean, I've mostly it was at GameStop, I think.
yeah.
That's where I
GameStop.
found out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. When will Hasbro stop putting out a million? Well, they,
Come on,
it's not going to happen. I
come
mean,
on. Oh, no. There's another Lando in the works. You know it, Oleg.
you know it. Yeah, it's like Lando. They never. I don't even know what other incarnation they could do, but I'm sure they'll think of something. They'll probably carbonize him or make a hologram out of him next.
Either a hologram or the one of the last the 7, 8, or 9. The
Yeah,
one where
yeah, you're right. They never made those. Yeah, you're
right.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Hasbro, if you're listening, I was a joke. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do
If
it.
you want free publicity, we're going to also tell you what to do. When I stop hunting Landos, oh yeah, it's ridiculous that they haven't been clearanced out yet. That is the one funny thing. It's like they clearance Joe's like a month after they come out in Target, but Lando is still sitting on the pegs. It's like it's being forced on us. I just don't get it. It's very odd.
I know a couple years ago, Man Cave, we were talking about it, and I think he talked about a couple videos talking about Masters of the Universe.
Hmm.
Why is Skeletor and He-Man still out there? And the guy that he was talking to kind of put in perspective, when you go buy a Star Wars action figure, you want to see Han Solo, Luke, Leia, 3PO, R2, like the A-listers. When
Right.
you go look for He-Man, hey, you want to have He-Man and Skeletor on the pegs as long as possible. But, going back to Lando's not the face of Star Wars.
No, no. I mean,
It's,
you need
you know,
Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, like you said.
right, right.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where they missed the mark on that one. I think when the General Lando and the Return of the Jedi wave came out, there was like two per case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything else
So
was one. That was the only figure that was two per case. And then I
right.
think they sent out solid cases too, where it's like they were sending us to Walmart and Target, and it's like, why? Why?
Why not?
So it's crazy. What's up, Chris? We got Chris from Everything's Plastic. I'm scared to open my Firefly. So many people are having issues. Did you get the new Firefly, JB?
I saw it and I'm waiting long game on that one because I have a Firefly, which the original, which I'm not,
Yeah.
I like it, but the new one I'll wait. I'll definitely wait.
I've heard that there's the hips or the ab crunch. You can kind of do this
Oh,
and it just
oh,
wobbles
really?
everywhere. Yeah, and then the legs also. The legs are just kind of wobbly. So I know a lot of people were looking forward to that figure. So that's really disappointing that it wasn't.
Right.
That's kind of what we're talking about. It's like
Yeah.
you know that that's an anticipated figure. You should really make it up to snuff. It should be perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, it shouldn't
Yeah.
really have those issues. And it's not one of those things that we talked about before where it's a one off. No, it's like consistently bad from every person that's getting it. So that's
Right.
unfortunate. What's up, Dre? We got Dre from the
What's up,
Collector Safe
Dre?
Space. Good to have you here, buddy. Derek Magnus, I wish the closest Ollie's was closer than 5 hours away. Yes, because you're
Yeah.
missing out, man. You're missing out.
Hopefully you have its competitor Ross nearby.
Right, right,
Ollie's new
right.
competitor is Ross.
Right. So tell us about your setup. So we were laughing earlier that you last time you were on the show you were in your mom's kitchen.
That's
So
right.
now you're in your toy room.
Yep.
What went into making this toy room look the way it does? It looks great, by the way.
Well, thank you very much. I'm gonna say a little bit of time thinking about it, but again, looking at the way I've collected over the years, and then of course pushed a long pause, and then getting back into it, I didn't want to lose a beat. Everything is just a mishmash of what I love. So adjustable shelves were one. So behind us here, adjustable shelves, and of course you wanted lighting, so I got some LED lightings from IKEA. I have two detolfs to my left. Here's my TV, and I wanted to get more detolfs recently, but there's those are extinct. Their
Yep. Yep.
detolfs are going to something else.
Yep.
And then years ago, and it's in my room tour. I'm getting ready to do another room tour by the end of the year. I got a peg wall full of Hot Wheels, and that's where a lot of people that know me. That's where we actually started collecting
Hmm.
um, the family. Hey Dad, look at this character car from Hot Wheels. It's MCU, and we're an MCU family. That kind of brought us together. The good MCU,
Right.
not
Not the
not the
bad.
recent MCU.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, when I see a Hot Wheel that's, Captain America Hot Wheel character car, that's cool. And then my kids go, oh, look, there's a number one, there's a number two, there's a number three. I was like, oh, yeah, it's collecting. So the boys love cars. So we collect Hot Wheels, and we started the peg wall. We have some old Transformers in box, from my oldest
Nice.
son.
Nice.
And then my youngest, liked a little bit of everything. He loves Batman, so, and it just started watching the guys that we mentioned earlier, finding Motu again, and then when Motu Origins hit, that's my dude. I'm into it.
Right.
Let's go. Um, Marvel, mainly MCU, but then when I started finding the comic inspired Marvel characters, is like I'm not a comic guy. I always joke that I don't know how to read. I just hate reading.
Right.
Even comic books, I just
Right.
I just don't like to read. They look great, and I appreciate it, but it just morphed into that, man. Just we picked up everything at the lowest price and the stuff that we liked. And it does, and it didn't help that I have a wonderful wife that just said, "Hey, just do that." So I got pretty fortunate, and then that's the room. I got helmets. I know Joe, and I love his helmet. I love his
Oh yeah.
room. Yeah,
Yeah. He's got a
Joe's
good
got
room.
an awesome
Hmm.
room,
He
but
does.
the helmet thing, and yeah, this. So when people come to the house, this is just the room to sit. I got my sleeper sofa here, TV with Netflix on it, and it's the escape from some of the crap that
Sure.
we all have to deal with.
Sure.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta have that. Gotta have that escape. I mean, I'm kind of the same way where we got the
yeah,
TV, we got the couch. You can just kind of
yeah,
sit up here, space for the kids to play and all that stuff. And
yeah.
there you go. Are you having any problems with space? I know we all run into that issue. Are you having any? Are you having to rethink the room? Is basically the question.
Yeah, the past month and a half, I'm really rethinking it. I mean, I have an office that, when I retired, eh, I made the I love me office, all my awards and all that stuff from the military. And I go down there, I was like, I'm gutting this. I'm gonna gut all this stuff up, and I'm gonna put some higher end collectibles downstairs because I'm running out of room up here. So the answer is yes.
Nice.
I have a closet in front of me that has nothing but doubles. Um, because I got into that mode. Oh, I'm gonna do one in box, one out of box.
Hmm.
I learned that from watching Kyle Peterson.
Oh yeah.
His,
Yep.
WWE Ultimate, 2, one in box, one out of box. Man, that dude's a millionaire, man.
He's gotta be.
And he's got more space than, half of the state that he lives in. I was like, man, what the heck did I do?
It's
So
like he invaded his whole house. He's got. I mean, like he must have a really big house because you've probably
yeah,
seen his room tour videos. It's like an hour and a half. I
yeah.
mean,
And
it's insane.
he's got two of them, right? If not correct, he's got two
Yes.
sections.
Well, that and
So
he's got his office. So his office is like as big as my room and your room. That's his
right.
office. And then downstairs, he's got the whole giant, however big it is. And then he goes back like into the boiler room where he's got his Star Wars. And it's insane. I mean, I
Yeah.
asked him, he was on the show about a month ago. He said he had 50,000 figures.
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
And
dude, what do you do with them? Where
I
do they go?
I
It's
I
crazy.
I love watching his weekly pickups. He'll
Mm.
stack boxes and
Yeah.
then he
Like you
just
can't even see
looking
his face.
right.
Yeah, he's covered. Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
crazy.
And
It's crazy.
you know who another who's up there too is Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, jeez. I told him the other day, I was like, dude, you're not going to be able to even like walk. I was like, you're going to start taking floor space. I think you were on the 1 year anniversary show when we were talking about that.
Yeah.
He is literally like, I've noticed the last time he was on till now, like it's going like this. And
It's
eventually you're not going to be able to see his face. He's just going to be, yeah, it's true. But I
Oleg,
mean,
you in there? You
he's
in there?
got see, he's not chatty because the Giants are probably getting killed again because the Giants, I mean,
Oh well
Daniel
that
Jones, that's all I need to say. Good thing he's hurt,
yeah.
right? So he's not as chatty. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing how some people are able to do this. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I have a limit. I'm sure you have a limit too, where it's like, okay, am I to the point where I need to either stop or I need to sell stuff off? Have you reached a point where you think, maybe I need to get to a point where I sell some stuff off to make room for new stuff?
Absolutely. I'm at that point now. I need to either trade or sell, and I just want to make sure it's done the right way.
Right.
I'm not looking to make money. I'm just not looking to just completely just losing my backside by just saying put it on Facebook Market and say, hey, if you're in the area, come get these $5 Black Series. I'm not that point,
Right.
So I am looking to dump a lot. And I have a hard time with that because as a kid growing up, from living in San Diego, Hawaii, back to San Diego, to New York, to Virginia, that was my dad's trip that he took us with. Everywhere we went, I brought my toys and I just added more and I added more because I couldn't let it go. And right now I can't let my stuff go. People will say, you got a problem. Yeah, okay, I got a problem. I like my toys.
Well,
And
I mean, it becomes an extension of you. Do you feel that
yeah,
way too, or it's like a part of you? I always say that too. It's like if you get rid of it, you're kind of getting rid of a piece of you, and you don't want to do that. You know.
it's my identity.
Well, I mean, for some people it is.
No, it is. That's what
It
I'm
is.
saying.
Uh,
Yeah, it is.
so
No,
it's like you don't want to do that, and as long as you're responsible with it and everything else. And I mentioned it last night. When it stops being fun, then
yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah,
time to quit.
yeah.
And I don't think any of us are in that boat yet,
Oh,
thankfully.
okay. I was going to ask you. So you're still having fun. I know that there's, the drawbacks of what we do, but at the same time, you're still having fun though, right?
Yeah, it's still fun. I mean, it's like life. You get peaks and valleys. Sometimes you just don't feel like buying anything. Sometimes you don't feel like making a video. Sometimes you don't even feel like talking about it.
Right.
I'm sure after tonight, this is 3 hours in the last 2 nights, I won't want to talk about it for a while. But you have to remind yourself. I always kind of take it as a responsibility too, because I have the same guys on this chat and the
Hmm.
same girls on this chat every single week. And it's like I have a responsibility to I'm putting this on myself, but it's like I wouldn't want to quit. I would
Yeah.
feel bad. I'm sure I'm just another flash in the pan. We all
Mhm.
are, but
Yeah.
it's like you've formed relationships, you form friendships,
Yeah.
and you just don't want to throw that aside because you get pissed off that you only got 100 views on a video, or
Yeah.
somebody said this to you, or whatever it is. I think there's a responsibility with it too, to where these people have taken their time to support you and watch
Yeah.
your stuff, and that means something, man, because I never thought that I'd get as far as I did. I'm sure you probably you probably thought you would, but you never know. It's a shot in the dark. So
Yeah, it is. I think at Heroes Con in Charlotte when we hung out with Man Cave and we actually ran into Jetta Patrol and Kent
mm,
Pole.
nice.
And because right here in the Charlotte, we're all talking, and Kent's like, "Hey, JB, there's a," and I'm bad right now. I can't remember the guy's name. If you're watching, I'm sorry, but he comes up to Kent and he just talks about how he got back into collecting, and you get that feeling. And then later on in the con, he comes up to me with his wife and he's like, JB, I waited, a little bit of time here to make sure I come find you because I knew you were going to be here. So, of course, he met me and saw Man Cave. And it was one of those moments where I was like, this guy was really, you know, really into the channel, really into what we do. Not just me,
Mhm.
but, all of us on YouTube. And you could tell that it gives him some, not saying hope, just something to smile about, some
Right.
joy in life, And you're right. It's if I'm not gonna do a hunt video, I'm like, man, one, I want to go hunt, and two, it's like some of the guys will be like, well, what's up with JB? Where's he
Exactly.
been? Yeah,
Exactly. Well, then people think you're dead, or they think
yeah.
something's
God
wrong with you.
forbid.
Right.
Yeah, God
Exactly.
forbid.
But that's people's reaction. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to draw up anything like that. All right. So I've been neglecting the comments, but let's get back to these. So we'll talk about this for a little bit. Your wife, I told you this last time. Your wife is an amazing toy hunter, probably better than all of us. What got her to follow this with you so passionately, and she's with you, and she's finding more stuff than you? What kind of triggered this with Marcia?
Uh, I think when we were when we first started dating, and got together, we just we like shopping. That's not. I've said that many times. We like just going out. Like today, she's like, "You want to go out?" I was like, "It's up to you." I wanted breakfast, but I was like, "I don't care where. You want to go out? Sure, I don't care where." But then, sure enough, she's that fire to say, you want to go see if they got the new GI Joes at Target.
Right, right.
You want to go see if they got the new TMNT Playmates wave with April and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, I do. And then she's just. I'm not gonna say it's an addiction. It's definitely something we both like to do. Um, so yeah, I'm just lucky that we both like to we're retailers. We have big backgrounds in retail. Before we met and while so
Yeah.
it's just
I
fun.
mean,
Just
it's great to have a partner in crime. I mean, it's somebody
yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
supports you like that. That's amazing. Because when you're at work, I'm sure I know this. She's looking for you when she has time off, and
Yeah.
you guys are tag teaming it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of unfair, but
Hey,
it's great, man. It's great. It's great that you guys, and that's probably. I mean, that's got to feel good that you have such support from your wife on
yeah.
something that you're so passionate about.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely supports, and then like for my close friends, and she'll hit me up. She's like, "Hey, didn't I'm not gonna call anybody in the chat out, but he's like, "Hey, doesn't so and so need that?" I
Right.
was like, "Yeah, Oleg needs that."
Yep. There you go. There he
Oh, I
is.
called
Yeah.
out Oleg.
He's not even paying attention, man. He's too
He
busy
is.
getting
He's
watching the
watching the
watching them
Giants
get
lose.
killed. Yeah.
The
Like,
Raiders won.
okay,
That's all they care. Yeah.
the Raiders did win. No thanks to
Yeah.
did Garoppolo get so I got stuck with the Daniel Jones curse in fantasy. So I picked up Garoppolo. He ain't done nothing for me. Did he get hurt?
I didn't get to watch the game,
Oh,
but
okay.
I
All
saw
right.
him kind of leaving, so I was gonna try to do some recaps after we're off today. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I played fantasy once
Did you?
and I like when it first started, and I did all right. I think I got to second place,
That's
and
good.
then after that, I was like, I'm not gonna do this again. So I haven't played fantasy since.
Really?
I
Really?
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
a
Well, it's
fantasy
I mean,
guy.
I always thought it made it a little more fun because it's
Heck
like,
yeah,
I don't really care if the Raiders win or the Broncos win or whoever it is, but when I have a player from that team, it's like, okay, well, I want them to do kind of good just because I
yeah,
have that player.
yeah.
But your Raiders are looking pretty good this year, and they're not. I think they've only lost two, right?
Why'd you have to say
I
something?
jinxed it.
You jinxed it,
I
dude. If
jinxed it.
they lose next week, I'm gonna
Blame
blast
me,
you,
man. You
man.
can blame me.
I'm gonna start one of those social media like tiffs.
Get Yukon off the YouTube.
Yeah, Yukon it hates. Yeah,
Well, they still got to get over the Chief hump, but the Chiefs don't look that good right now. I think they kind of looking like trash a little bit.
hey, that's how it works, though.
Up and down.
You know,
Yep, up and down.
I have that conversation with my son all the time. My youngest, he's a Chargers fan, so I always
Oh,
laugh at him.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, the Raiders will never be like the Chargers." Like, who are the Chargers again? It's like,
Yeah.
I I grew up in San Diego, and I'm a Raiders fan. I was like, dude, stop it.
There you go. Well, and you never have to worry about the Broncos because they're complete trash.
Yeah,
I'm from Colorado and I rooted for those clowns forever, and now it's like it's amazing what's happened to them.
the
They're
donkeys. Yeah.
the donkeys, exactly. They're horrible. What's up, Michael Cherry? Good to have you here, buddy.
What's up?
Let's see if we have any more comments here.
Oh, there's a lot of people.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys too.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Always. You guys are cool. Enjoy watching both your channels. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. We got the general in. What's up, Kenobi? Good to see you, buddy.
Hello there.
I can't read either. It's cool, JB.
That's right.
I
Hey,
mean,
man, well, fake it till you make it, man.
right. I think reading is one of those things where you either like it or you hate it. I'm with you. I've always hated it, but my job kind of calls for it now, so I have to do it. But
Yeah.
I'd rather watch something. I'm one of those guys where let's get the cassette, the book on cassette. Let's listen to that. Makes it easier.
Yeah. I'm like the I've said this a couple times. I'm like the Chip Douglas from what's his name? God, what's his name? The comedian, Jim Carrey.
Oh
He
yeah,
did cable guy.
yeah,
The kid sitting in front of the TV. That's me, Chip Douglas,
right,
just watching
right,
the TV.
right.
So
Absolutely, man. Dre says, when anything stops being fun, you walk away. Yeah, I mean
yep.
that really goes with anything. That goes with sports. That goes with collecting. That goes with anything.
Yeah.
So, is there anything where you've kind of had to do that? It doesn't even have to be toy related. Is there anything where it's stopped being fun and you're like, okay, we just need to kind of move past this?
Um. Yeah, I would say going into like not my relationship, but like relationships with friends.
Hmm.
And some of the pastimes we would do. We would go out, clubbing, drinking, things like that. When it stops being fun with the people that you're around, you just walk away. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
if all my friends from Virginia are watching right now and they're like, "How come you don't say hi to us no more?" It's because you don't say hi to me. I walked away
Right.
from you.
Yeah.
I walked away from you because it's like it's toxic. Why do I want to be around something that's just bringing me down?
Exactly.
So when I'm collecting, let's go to toy line. If something's bringing me down, yeah, I'm going to easily drop it and move on from it. Because if it's not bringing you joy, if it's not adding any value to your life, then yeah, it is time to walk away. So yeah, Dre's absolutely right. There's no harm in that either. Just, hey, you know what? I've had my fun. Time to see something new and different.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like what we were talking about earlier, you know, as it can be difficult, this does bring a lot of joy. The community, we've talked about this before, the community is fantastic. All the
Yeah.
guys and girls that are doing this, that are, you know, showing support, being on shows, doing all that stuff. I mean, that makes it so hard to walk away if you're even thinking about it, because again, you don't want to let them down. And then, there's friendships. You don't want to,
Yeah.
walk out on those friendships, because let's be honest, if we leave YouTube, is that still going to go on? Is that still going to happen?
Yeah.
Well, in
Yeah.
some cases, yes, but in all cases, probably not. So, I
Yeah.
think that's an important thing too.
Yeah.
All right, so Jimmy G left the game with a back injury, so that's twice.
Oh.
That's twice he's been hurt. Oh, Kilster, I didn't know you were on. I'm sorry, man. He's a Bronco fan. Poor guy.
That's too bad. Thanks for
200.
joining, but that's too bad.
Thanks for more. Cobweb Collector, what's up, man? Good to have you on. Cobweb Collector will be a guest on this show on November 5th, so make sure you guys check that out. Another great YouTuber, does a great job, so we'll get to know him better. I think he just passed 400 subs, so
There you go.
he's moving. He's moving for sure. Very, very proud of him for
Awesome.
that. Transformers for me, 20 minutes and instruction manual too much. I agree. So JB, you're into Transformers a little bit. Are you into the modern or is it more the vintage?
I was into Transformers when I started collecting more of the studio series, the
Oh yeah.
86. That's and I still have that agreement with the wife. If I'm going to collect a Transformer, it's going to be something from a G1 inspired, something that just resembles that. But I haven't picked up a Transformer in I don't know how long. And even if my videos tell it, I'm over there filming Transformers and I'm just like looking at it. Sometimes I don't know what I'm looking at just because
True.
it's like, what am I looking at? Because again, being a little bit older and I didn't stay with Transformers into, only up to a certain point, like I know Beast Wars because my oldest loved Beast Wars and a lot of his collection is Beast Wars, but I wasn't, I'm not in there like like Ultra Magnus and stuff like that.
Right, right. Well, and it's getting to the point too where there's more of the kids' toys and stuff. It kind of
Yeah.
floods the market a little bit. The stuff that you're really after, very small,
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
space, and a lot of collectors are after it and stuff. The engineering's actually gotten really good. I don't know if you've seen any of the new ones, but really pretty good. They've made it easier to transform, and they actually look better now, and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Oh, what G1 vintage Transformers do you have? You said something that your son's had some. Which ones do you have?
Oh, I mean, he's had he doesn't have them anymore. He had
Oh,
to
okay.
get rid of a lot of them. So I don't have any G1, but to go to if I were to see one again, like a Grail would be a Jetfire. And I talked with Mr. Syntastic about it because he recently picked one up
You
over a
did.
couple months ago, I think. Um, if I'm gonna get back into Transformers, like and trying to do, a Grail Transformer every year, the Jetfire is going to be the one that's going to start it off
Gotcha.
easily, and then after that, probably the Dinobots. Just those key players, and then was it you that picked up the Megatron?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it wasn't even me; it was my parents. So I went to Dallas
yeah,
Vintage
that's
Toys.
yeah,
Yeah, it was amazing. Uh, I've got him sitting over here, and he's in box too. He's got the box,
yeah,
he's got the styrofoam and everything else. But I mean, that was like the grail of grails for me, and just never thought I'd have it. So he's
right,
behind glass, and he's never going to be not behind glass because
yeah,
that one's got a lot of emotions and feelings towards it. So yeah,
right,
it's super cool to have it.
and that's the thing is like going like all the G1 that I had growing up as a kid, the original, I never had a Megatron.
Yeah.
You know, I had a Shockwave, I had a Soundwave, I had everything around it, but I never had a Megatron. So that would be definitely one to add to the collection as well.
Yeah, it's
That's
weird.
that's
It's
all.
like I didn't know a lot of people who had Megatron either. It's like it was this. I don't even remember seeing in the store a lot. I don't. I think that was before they were really worried about the gun thing,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and that sort of stuff. But it's like I don't remember a lot of people. I knew one kid. I told that story in the video. One kid who had it, but I never
Uh-huh.
knew anybody else. And my parents used to sit this other kid who had everything. He had Omega Supreme. He had Jetfire. He had Magnus. He had like all the hard ones to find, but he never had Megatron. I don't know what it is about
Yeah.
that figure. It seems like I mean, even to this day, it's pretty rare, and it's up there in price. I mean, you get one
Oh,
in box, it's 700 plus. It's
yeah.
crazy,
The,
crazy.
the the longer I hold off on getting one, the more the price goes up.
Exactly, exactly, man. That's absolutely right. Viper's Pit, what's up? Good to have you here. Cowboy Collector says 400 will be cool, but not there. Maybe it was 300. Maybe it was 300.
Yeah.
So
You're
you'll
on your
get
way,
there,
bud.
man. You'll get
Yep.
there. You'll get there for sure. All right. Let's see. Do we have anybody else? Yes, you'll get there. All right. All right. So, what do you have on tap for the future? Is it going to just be, just going to keep chugging along, keep doing your thing, or is there any cons or exciting things that you're doing in the future that we can look forward to?
I wish there was something a little bit different. Just because of the work schedule, it's kind of just pushing that back. Nothing too different from the toy hunts, the toy hunts, and then of course, uh, working on a room tour. Kind of just doing that. I'm working on some dioramas for again more stands for my action figures, but nothing really in the pipeline. Nothing really shooting for. Hopefully at the end of the year we'll do a little bit of a road trip and maybe go back to Virginia, go check out Toy Meister and Yester Toys, two big stores back home, and then turning into the next year, um, Joe Fest, Toylanta,
Yep.
Those are definitely on the list because I missed both of them because of work this year. And I was talking with Mega J. Um, was it a couple weeks ago? We were talking online, and I think there's an issue with PowerCon. I really wanted to get to
Really?
PowerCon,
Hmm.
but that's kind of in limbo right now. So
That's
you know,
unfortunate.
yeah, it is because I mean, you just look at what happened at this most recent PowerCon. I mean, everybody was there,
Oh yeah, that's huge.
and it was huge. And I'm like, because the wife and I were talking about going up, but we said, you know what, we'll go next year, and that would stink if it's not coming back. What about you? What do you got going on?
Man, I live in Oklahoma. We don't have any cons. Actually, they got Retropalooza in Tulsa in November, so I'm going to try to maybe hit that. But that would be a thing where Tulsa's a couple of hours away from me. I'd probably have to stay the night and stuff. And it's
Yeah,
like I don't know if I want to deal with that. But yeah, it's tough around here. I kind of have to go about it the same way what you're saying. It's like, okay, we'll hit the retails. I got a couple of stores I'll hit and do a tour every once in a while. But I mean, it's tough. It's hard to think in new and original content. I don't want to be toy hunt, toy hunt, toy hunt, toy hunt. You want to
yeah,
kind of do something a little different,
yeah,
but it's tough. It's tough to be original. It's tough to come up with things that people haven't done or kind of put your
yeah.
spin on it, like we talked about earlier. Have you thought about doing any? I know you used to do a lot of reviews. Have you thought about any other different types of videos that you might want to try?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a review here and there because you got great reviews, and of course you got your 60-second reviews on your
Yeah, I
shorts
haven't
and
done those
stuff.
in a while. Yeah, I need to get
But
back to that.
you do them well,
Thanks, man.
and I'm trying to get to that point where I'm doing a few more reviews. And I'm throwing up the ideas of doing a live. My thing about actually hosting a live is one, finding the time, and two, finding a time that's not really interfering with a lot of our guys. You know what I
It's
mean?
tough. It's
It's
tough.
like I can't pick 8 p.m. Eastern Sunday, join JB's Toy Trunk. Wait, Yukon Phil's on. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
um the mornings with Monday morning with Hey Archer. I love Monday mornings
I
with
do
with
too. I'm
Nerd of
there.
that's
Great show.
it's a
Great show.
great show, and I'm glad he could do it because I wouldn't be able to do a 9 o'clock show from work.
No,
you know
no way. I think he has Mondays off because he's in sales, so I think he has Mondays off.
yeah.
And we need to start a petition to free Mr. Hay Archer because he's had some problems with YouTube lately. We won't get into that,
Oh
but
geez. Oh my
what a bunch
gosh.
of BS that is. Is that something you ever worry about? Maybe being in a little bit of hot water with YouTube and like, get to the point where you might need to think about readjusting the content or, altogether quitting. Is that something it's ever in the back of your mind?
I'll never quit, and yes, it's sometimes on the back of my mind where it's like I watched I'll screen some of my videos on my channel every now and then, and of course the wife will watch it and she'll screen it downstairs. And it's funny to see the commercials that jump on.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a commercial from like a military branch, and I was like, okay, that's fitting. And then
Right.
another one,
Right.
and so I was like looking at some solid commercials. So when it comes to monetization, it's like, yeah, I'll take my 10 cents.
Yeah.
I'll
Absolutely.
take my 10 cents for this video, absolutely. But
Absolutely.
if they were to demonetize me, and please YouTube, if you're watching, don't
Don't
demonetize
do
me.
that. We're not saying to do that. Don't do that. JB's a good guy.
Don't do that. I'm just saying it's not, to me, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It really,
No.
I mean, but that's me personally. And I know people are like, well, why are you going to do it? And it's like, man, I'm having fun because I'm communicating and connecting with, guys like you and guys like the people I meet at cons and, in the stores. Hey, JB, I watched your video. Thanks. You helped me get, a Lando. I was like, hey, you're welcome. Lando's always there though. You don't have to
Right.
thank me.
You
Thank
can
Hasbro.
tell them. Yeah, thank Hasbro. They made
Thank
plenty of
Hasbro,
them for
Target, and
everybody.
Walmart. Yeah,
Right, right. All right. I'm gonna ask you like two or three more questions. I'm gonna put
sure.
you on the spot with this one. I want you to give me your three favorite YouTubers. It can be any genre, anything you watch, but give me your top three favorite YouTubers.
You did this to me last time. I
Did I
can't
do
remember
this to you?
what.
I couldn't
Yeah,
remember, so
no,
I
but
figured I'd do it
it
again.
changes. It
Okay.
changes. Um, Honestly, man, lately, okay, what have I watched lately? If I were to go to my views, um, okay, for the toy community, I watch. I like disavowed action figures.
He's good.
He
He's good.
he's
Yep.
he's like he goes there, he tries to be, I like his 3 Ps, be polite, and things like that. He doesn't try to get in anybody's way. So when it comes to YouTubers, him, Mega J Retro,
Yep.
um, I would say a good, but I'm not saying we're like friends, but we're definitely, yeah, I'd say we're friends, not like his other friends that are on with him every night, but he's he's reached out a couple times to me without even me knowing, and we've talked a little bit. He's a good dude. So
Nice.
those two, and then off of the YouTube stuff, or not YouTube, but toy channels. Man, I really don't know. Conan O'Brien. I've been watching a lot of Conan O'Brien because he's just funny.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
that's it.
That works, man. That works. Yeah. All good choices. I feel Mega J. He lives in Hawaii, right? Is that where he
No,
lives?
Canada, Canada.
Canada. I
Yeah,
see the prices that he
yeah,
has to deal with.
yeah,
Chris on Everything's Plastic could vouch for this. It's insane the prices those poor guys got to deal with. I
yeah.
mean, I just don't think I could do it. I think
It's
that
like,
might be one thing to get me out of collecting.
yeah, it's funny, and the conversion, it does go a little bit, but like
It's,
it just goes way off the. And usual Mike down in Australia, we'll
oh yeah.
communicate a lot. So of course, we got. Oh, okay, here you go. The new Darth Vader, from Obi. So it's an exclusive. I paid extra at Target, 27.99. Usual Mike will be on his channel, be like, all right, I got this one for 800 Aussie dollary dues.
Oh man.
I feel bad for the guy, man. And
Right.
then like
Right.
Mega J, it's like, I got this Darth Vader for 120 Canadian dollars. And
It's crazy. It's
it is
crazy.
nuts. It's nuts.
I mean, it's like, that is probably the other thing that would get me out. It's like,
Oh
what
yeah.
what would you say your limit is to where the prices are to where it's like, okay, we're gonna stop? Or, I had Ron on here the other day.
Yeah.
Ron
Oh
is
yeah.
basically out of modern. Like, he'll
Oh,
do
he's out.
Motu, but he is just like straight up vintage. And
Yeah.
I've kind of like, I get why.
Yeah.
What would it take for you to have that mindset and be like, screw this modern, I'm going all the vintage now?
Well, I mean, hanging out with him, guys like him, Man Cave, and Mr. Fantastic, and Jersey Geek, all those guys are all rich. They know toys. They
Yeah,
are
they do.
savants of
Mhm.
the retro community. Um, but for the modern stuff, for me to get out of modern, it would, it's close. Like I'm playing long game on Black Series. That's all I used to do was collect Black Series. So if it's at 28 to 30 for a standard figure like an Ezra Bridger, you
Mhm.
know? Like if they come out with Ezra Bridger with the beard, spoiler alert, but
Yeah.
if they come out with the older Ezra Bridger in a Black Series and he's like, yeah, $33 at Target,
No,
I would say no, because that's how much that Jawa Tika, a Tika
right.
was like $30.
It's insane. Yeah.
So yeah, getting to the 28, 29, and 30 for a standard figure. I'm already out of TVC.
Yeah.
Like I have some TVC, but like I used to be a completionist on the vintage collection, but not anymore.
I mean,
Not at 20
17.
bucks.
Yeah, 17. Well, and exclusives 22.99, 20. Yeah, I think
Right.
22.99 for those bobas. It's like, come on, that's just way too much.
S- So I'm close, and Masterverse. I love Masterverse, and I dialed it down to my A-listers for Masterverse. I play long game. I play long game on those guys, and I'm sure not you, but everybody agree. Just wait till it goes to 50%.
Yeah. Well, Carlos T3, he found,
Yeah,
Manny Faces was hard to find. He found it at Ross for $4 the other day.
yeah,
It's like you can do that. Mossman showing up at Ollie's, and again, what we were talking about earlier, just I think you just got to be choosy, got to be picky and
yeah.
choosy, get the stuff you really want, and then really just kind of go from
And,
there.
and stay in the lane. Stay in your
Stay in the
lane.
lane. Uh-huh.
Yeah, stay in
Yep.
your lane.
That's very important as well. We get to a couple more quick comments, then I'll
Sure.
let you go, man. So we got King County,
Oh, you're good.
Chicago toy stores next Sunday for Chicago. 7 buildings of toys. Holy crap!
Man.
7 buildings. Dang. Yeah, we don't get stuff like that here at all. I wish we did. I was going to try to hit King County. I don't feel bad, Cal. Besides, I'm only at 95. You'll get there before you know it. Absolutely. All you guys keep plugging around.
Yeah.
And, this is absolutely right, too. Boba Fett plus Disney tax equals
Yep.
$33. Yep. You're getting those taxes.
Yeah. The Luke, the Jedi Luke and Grogu a deluxe pack for like 40 something dollars.
$45.
Every time I go buy it, it's like, here you go, Luke. Okay, looks pretty
Mhm.
good. We don't need another Grogu, and they give you an accessory with fireworks coming out of his backside.
Right,
You
right.
don't need $44 of that stuff, you know?
No,
That's
no.
just
Well, and that's another one that's going on clearance. It's like half. I could see 22 for that. I could do that. That's fine. But 45 is crazy money, and they just sit there. And
yeah.
there you go.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Um, what about Micro Galaxy Squadron? You doing that?
Yeah, that's another one that's tough. So
Uh-huh.
I've got the shuttle. I don't know if you have the shuttle, the Imperial shuttle.
No, it looks good. No, I
Phenomenal.
only got a few of those. Yeah.
Phenomenal. I think that's the best one. The AT-AT is also cool, but
Yeah.
it's too small. It needed to be bigger.
Yeah.
It's too small.
Yeah.
It needed to be a lot bigger. But it's got electronics, so I kind of get the price point. But when you get down to like the TIE fighter for 16 bucks, or you get down to an X-Wing for 16, 17 bucks, I've got a few, but I've tried to sell them. I can't even sell them. I can't even sell them on the
Yeah.
Mercari or Facebook. So
Right.
you know, uh, again, I think it's another thing where it's picky and choosy. If they could
Yeah.
all be $30 for that shuttle is phenomenal because when you put the
Yeah.
wings down, the
Yep.
shuttle's as big as the AT-AT Walker.
Yeah.
It's the same size. So
Yep.
again, I think it's really important to be picky and choosy on that stuff too. The problem is space. I have no space for them, so they're just
Yeah. I
kind of
don't.
stuffed in a shelf right now.
Right.
That's a good one
And that's
too.
why this is a really the whole lights and everything. It's
Yep.
phenomenal. And I waited. I'm glad I waited
Yeah.
like $13.
Yeah. Well, they're
So
so what they're doing now, they're trying to pack that with some tie interceptors. They haven't released this interceptor
yeah.
yet. So they're
Yeah.
packing that with a couple interceptors, getting people to buy that, get your
Right.
interceptors earlier. And it's like, they know what they're doing. They
Throw
know
the
exactly what they're doing.
throw exclusive sticker on there. Oh.
Right. It's exclusive. You got to get it. So, all right.
Uh.
All right, man. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks again. Sorry I gave you short notice, but dude,
Dude.
it's been awesome.
Anytime. I mean, anytime. If you hit me up and I'm free and yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come on. And again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Good luck to you.
Well, thank
Keep
you.
doing what you're doing, man. Enjoy your content. Enjoy, we talked about this last time, Joy, that it's a family affair. Very cool. Your
Yeah.
wife, your kids, your granddaughter, the Chewy. That's awesome stuff. So
That girl.
I'm going to give you a minute to plug yourself. Go ahead and tell us where we can find you, all the social medias, and we'll go from there.
Well, luckily, there's really only two social medias. I can't be everywhere like a nerd affiliated. Hey, RJ,
Right.
dude's everywhere, but it works. It works. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and share and subscribe right here on Yakin with Yukon. For me, you can find me on YouTube, JBs Toy Trunk. You could also find me on Instagram, JBs Toy Trunk. On Instagram is where I sometimes will put some new stuff out there, just the now. And on the channel, I try to put at least one video out a week. Toy hunts, sometimes a review, but ultimately just documenting this fun thing we do in collecting. So thank everybody in the chat for joining us. And like I always say, just always enjoy the ride. That's all we could do in life is just try to enjoy whatever's in front of us. Thanks, man, for having me on,
Absolutely.
and thank you guys for joining in the chat. And just let's look into this fourth quarter. We got Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then of course the Christmas and the holidays at the end of the year and New Year's. So let's just hold on tight while Hasbro just keeps just
Right.
throwing stuff at us.
It's holiday season. It's going to be a wild ride. So,
Yeah. It's real quick though.
yeah.
The Giant Man is gonna be a wild ride if that doesn't get
I don't think
backed.
it's going to get there, man. It's
It's
not looking good. It's like
it's
what, barely over 50%.
it's not a
It's
ghost.
it's not a ghost, right?
Not a
It's
ghost.
not a ghost, man. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
No.
Thank you again, JB. Guys, next week we have got a big one. They're all big ones. I hate to say that. I shouldn't say that. We've got Craig from Not Another Retro channel on, so I'm looking forward to that. I've been pushing him for like 6 months to be on this show. So I finally got him to commit. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then the week after, we're gonna do a Halloween thing. I haven't totally figured out what it is, but something Halloween. So we'll figure that out. But JB, thanks again. All you guys in the chat, you're awesome as always. Appreciate you guys doing it. And we'll see you next week on Yakin with Yukon.
Later, guys.